Ellie, are you ready to say hello to the camera? Just for a second. Yeah. This is Ellie. She had a vaccine in her butt, so her butt hurt a little bit. But that's okay. She will feel better in no time. Right, Ellie girl? She smells like the veterinarian's perfume, which is really funny. I love you, girly girl. Are you so do? Are you so do? Hello, good people of the internet. My name is Hexa. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different from what I've been doing recently. It's going to be kind of just like a sit-down, chit-chatty video about a recent therapy session that I had and something my therapist said that really helped me and really changed my whole perspective on things, and I think potentially could also help a lot of you out there watching. Therapy sessions are always a little bit awkward and all over the place, so I anticipate that this video might also be a little bit awkward and all over the place because it kind of took a lot of like zigzags and little different paths and roads in the conversation to lead to this epiphany that I had. So I'm just gonna kind of tell the story the way that me and my therapist got to this point, and hopefully it won't be boring, and by the end of the video will have helped you in some way. So yeah, let's begin. So I started going to therapy again recently. I've been living in Germany for 2.5 years now, and I've really been in need of a therapist ever since we came to Germany, but I couldn't find one. I called like probably 40 or 50 different doctors and psychologists and psychiatrists, and none of them were taking English-speaking patients. And I called my insurance company, and I called other companies that like help you set up doctor's appointments and stuff, and nobody was really able to help me find a therapist who could do sessions with me in English. And yeah, it's like the first advice that I got when I first came in contact with health professionals of any kind in Germany was, if you want to go to therapy, you need to learn German first, which was wildly unhelpful, demoralizing, and depressing. You know, I speak 3 languages, so I know what it means to learn a language, and I know that out of the 3 languages that I speak, there's only one in which I am fully 100% comfortable having therapy sessions in, because it takes a lot of brain power to put your emotions out there, let alone to do it in a non-dominant language. So I kept trying to find an English-speaking therapist, and I knew that they were out there, but most of them weren't covered by insurance. But at the beginning of this year, I set a New Year's resolution to find a therapist, and by some kind of universal luck or serendipity, it really felt like it was just the universe smiling down on me. I think this therapist that I'm working with now was probably the first or second therapist that I contacted, and she was ready to start right away. She didn't have a waiting list like everyone else had, and yeah, we were able to start right away, and she's covered by my insurance, and everything is going really well. So I feel so lucky and so grateful and so happy to have found her, because I finally feel like I can start making progress with my mental health in the direction that I've been needing to. Ellie, are you okay? Ellie? Ellie? Oh, you're good. Okay, good. If I seem distracted in this video, by the way, I am puppy sitting for my boyfriend. He's helping a friend pick up some furniture from IKEA, and she just got her last baby vaccines today, and she's feeling a little sluggish. She's had some accidents around the house, so if I seem distracted, it's just because I'm watching her and just making sure she's okay. But she seems to be getting her strength back now, because she's trying to bite all of my cables from my ring light and my microphone and stuff. She's feeling a little more playful and energetic again. If you guys have seen some of my other videos relating to mental health, you'll know that I've been suffering from pretty severe anxiety, panic attacks, and agoraphobia for a few years now. And so that was kind of like the main focus for me going into these therapy sessions, was just like trying to get help for my anxiety and stuff. She's so distracting. Oh my god. This particular therapy session that I'm talking about today, I think was about our 7th session together. And some of the things that me and my therapist have been focusing on for the last few sessions is mainly that I'm trying to find a job right now. I quit my job back in March last year, just as the pandemic was starting to hit Germany. It wasn't because of the pandemic, it just kind of like worked out that way. I had quit my job because my anxiety and my panic attacks were starting to come back and they were getting worse again, and I just didn't really feel safe or comfortable going to work every day anymore. I was also suffering from insomnia, I was getting sick a lot, and I just wasn't really doing well. So I've been unemployed officially for about a year now, and I've been working freelance online and just like picking up some money here and there doing different things online, but it hasn't been a lot by any means. And the reason why there's like a little bit more urgency now for me to find a job is because I'm turning 23 in March, and when I turn 23, I can no longer be covered by my mom's health insurance, so I have to start paying it myself. And I'm making enough right now to pay my health insurance, but it's like half of my income. You know, there's other things that I need money for, and of course I also don't want to be like totally dependent on my mom and just like living with my mom for the rest of my life. So there is a bit of like an urgency and a need and desire for me to get back out there into the workforce and get a job. So that's what me and my therapist have been talking about in our last few sessions, because it is pretty important and something that I need to do quite soon. So a few of the things that I mentioned during this session that will be relevant later on. Number one was I told her that I've been gaining weight, and I started gaining weight for a reason. I started gaining weight because I needed to, because I was struggling with an eating disorder and it was important for me to gain weight. But now I've reached my weight goal and then some, and I'm not overweight, I'm not fat, I don't think I'm fat or anything like that, but I just don't feel as confident as I used to in my body. I'm not as fit as I would like to be. Children are wailing in the hallway. And I've overall just been feeling like losing a little bit of weight, or just like reducing my body fat percentage and raising the amount of muscle that I have, would be really good for me overall. I told her, you know, I've been thinking about starting running again recently, but it's been really snowy and icy out, and I didn't really feel like slipping on ice and falling on my face, so I haven't been running, even though I've been thinking about it. But now the weather has warmed up and the ice has melted, and I don't have that excuse anymore, and I'm scared that I'm going to start running again and start eating healthy and it won't make a difference. I'm scared that it won't be enough, and I won't lose weight, or I won't get stronger, I won't get fitter, and it won't really help. And then we got to talking about money and how the job search is going, and how, you know, I've applied to some jobs, but there's really nothing in my area. But I told her I'm feeling really happy because I made my first 19 euros from Fiverr. And I was like, you know, I know that 19 euros is not a lot of money, but every time that I make money with a new source of income, or like a new source of revenue from a new place, that makes me feel excited, because it validates the possibility of making more money from that source. And I followed that up by saying that I've been thinking about adding some more services and more gigs on Fiverr, like social media management and video editing, photo editing, and things like that, because I know how to do this stuff. I've been doing it for my own social media platforms and for my own channel for years, but I'm scared or apprehensive or reluctant to get into it, because I know that there are lots of other people who do these things better than I can, and who know more about it than I do. And so I feel bad trying to charge people money to do something that other people can do better than me. And my therapist kind of challenged this notion. She was like, you know, why don't you just try it? And I was like, yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, I might be better at it than I think I am, or I might learn a lot just by trying and get a lot better at it really quickly if I put myself out there. And then things kind of just like deteriorated into me just going into a tirade about myself and how much I suck. And I was just like, I don't work as many hours every day as I could be or should be. I could be applying to a lot more jobs, but I'm not doing it. And I could be making way better YouTube videos, but I'm not doing it. And I keep trying to make this excuse of like, oh, I'm taking a mental health day, or I'm doing self-care, or I'm giving myself grace or whatever, but it's actually not good for me in any way, and I'm just wasting all my time on Netflix and like watching YouTube videos, and I waste so much time and blah 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 blah. I was basically telling her about all these things that I want to be doing, but I'm not doing, or I'm not putting as much effort into doing as I want to be or as I could be. And so she asked me like, okay, but why don't you do it? And my answer was, I don't know, I guess I'm just lazy. And this is when she said the thing that was just like mind-blowing and changed my whole perspective. She said, I don't think you're lazy, I think you're scared. I've been to therapy a lot in the past. I've had a few different therapists over the years, and this is the first time ever that a therapist has ever said something that has just made such a profound change and shift in my worldview so quickly. It was like all of the pieces just came together, and it was like, oh my God, I can't believe I never thought of it that way. I never saw things this way. Because in this session, we had been talking about how I have all these big dreams and these big goals, and ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to do something extraordinary. My therapist has told me over a few sessions, like she's repeated this thing of like, you're thinking too big. Like, why are your goals so big? And the first few times I didn't really get it. Like, I kind of was like low-key offended. Like, why shouldn't my goals be big? And what do you know? Like, I can do big things and blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not being unrealistic. Other people have done it. Why can't I do it? This time I kind of understood where she was coming from. Because earlier in the conversation, we had talked about mediocrity and how terrified I have always been of being trapped in a life that I saw as being mediocre or average. I've always been afraid of not living that dream life that I want. I've always been afraid of being trapped in like a regular average job with a regular average income. What's wrong? What's wrong, baby? Come here. Oh my goodness. What's up? You're not feeling good. Do you want your sock back? It's my sock, you know. Oh. I'm super distracted in this video. I have no idea where I even was or what I was talking about 2 minutes ago. Oh, poor Ellie girl. I'm sorry. I was gonna lift her up to show you guys, but she doesn't seem like she wants that right now. Okay. So I've always been afraid that like my dreams of being a YouTuber aren't gonna work out, or my dreams of having my own business and making a lot of money and traveling the world aren't gonna work out, and I'm gonna end up in this life that is just mediocre and average. But this time I felt like my therapist kind of explained it in a way that I was finally able to understand, because she told me like, you have to get to mediocre before you can get there to these like big dreams that you want to achieve. You're setting these like huge goals while ignoring the need to reach average first. And what else she said was that I think you're scared of putting your full effort into these things that you're passionate about, because if you don't do your best and you fail, you can always say that you failed because you didn't try hard enough. But if you put your full effort into something and it still fails, then you have to be confronted with the reality that your best isn't good enough, that your best only gets you mediocre. And that's something that just completely terrifies me. And she was totally right about that. This conversation like helped me to understand that for a lot of us, including myself, it's probably not a matter of being lazy. It's a matter of being afraid of dedicating yourself fully to something that you love and having it not work out the way that you want it to. And so the aftermath of this therapy session is I sat down and I did a bit of like a journaling exercise, and I wrote down a series of sentences that start as, I am more afraid of never trying than I am of failing at blank. And the next day after we had this therapy session was the first time in ages where like I use a time tracking app, right? And I like push a button when I start a task and I push it again when I finish a task. And it was the first day in, I think, months that I had a day where I worked a solid 9 hours. I worked for 9 hours straight. I treated it like a job. And it was just like incredible how profound this conversation was and how profoundly it changed my approach to like my whole life and all of my dreams and all of my aspirations. So I hope that there was some kind of lesson in there for you as well, and that this video helped you in a similar way to how my therapist helped me. Being someone with big dreams is definitely scary. The bigger your dreams are, the harder you fall when you don't reach them. And so in a way, it kind of makes sense how we tend to almost like sabotage ourselves by not working as hard toward those dreams as we could be doing, simply out of the fear of failing miserably, despite all of our continued efforts and determination and doing the best we possibly can. But I would challenge you to try to overcome that fear and just see where it leads you. You know, you might end up putting your full effort towards your dream and have it still fail. And that could be heartbreaking. But at the same time, at least you'll be content in knowing that you tried your best, rather than living the rest of your life wondering what could have happened if I had just tried a little harder, and what could have happened if I had just put my everything into this thing that I love. And just remember that journaling exercise that I recommended. I am more afraid of never trying than I am of failing at blank. And figure out what is in that blank for you. So that was it for this video. As predicted, it was a little bit all over the place. I feel like it took me a little while to get to the point, but I hope that it was helpful or inspiring or educational or something in some way. I've been wanting to do more of these kind of just like sit down, talk to the camera, thought piece type of videos, but I don't know if you guys would like more of those, so just leave me a comment down below if you did like this. Hopefully therapy continues going well for me, and maybe I will be able to bring more interesting tidbits to this channel from my therapist, more words of wisdom. I hope you noticed I'm wearing my fear shirt today to tie in very perfectly with the theme of today's video. I guess I didn't really explain how some of the other things that I talked about in this video were relevant to the overall conclusion. The relevance lies in the fact that during that therapy session, I had, unbeknownst to me and without noticing it, talked about multiple things that I was afraid of doing in case that they would fail. I was afraid that the running wouldn't help me get fitter. I was afraid that posting the jobs on Fiverr would lead to me, you know, not being able to do a good job or whatever. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video and spending some time with me here. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and click the notification bell to be notified every single time I upload. And if you want to see more of me, my thoughts, my face, my content, then you can also follow me on social media. All of my links are down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.